This episode is brought to you by the fabulous members of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com.
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes he tells sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. The passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. But it's You Run Podcast.
This isn't your average everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness.
Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
And my name is Marc.
And this is the show where we take you through the movies that you have chosen on our Instagram polls. Today we're in the fourth and final week of Cruel Summer month, where you've picked you've picked some seriously rough films this month.
Yeah.
When we said like we're putting out the worst of the worst, when you looked at it, you must have gone, yeah, they're not going to like that one. I'm going to pick that one because that's horrible.
I think the weakest of the bunch is Saw, and it's not very often you can say that Saw is a weak horror movie in terms of its brutality.
Yeah, we're doing gory and brutal, and Saw is the most tame thing we've covered this month. Yeah. Well, we have a fantastic episode lined up today. We're covering a newer release. We're going to kick off with a brief synopsis, as we always do, followed by a longer conversation about what we liked, what we didn't like, what I really liked, what Marc didn't like, because that's normally the way these new releases go.
What can I say? I have a formula, you know what I mean? I'm not a new horror movie guy.
Yeah, your formula is Scott said he really likes this, so fuck Scott. I hate it.
It's not always the case.
This is true. If you haven't seen the movie before, maybe don't listen to the whole episode because it is spoiler heavy, or do. Like, I really don't care, but I'm warning you now. If you listen to the whole episode and you haven't seen it, we are going to spoil it. Later on in the show, we're going to get your voices heard as we do unfiltered thoughts on this film. And we're going to have a look at our voicemail where we get a nice message and we get absolutely fucking annihilated again and again and again and again.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I've done.
No, you know, for once, I'm going to correct you and say, I know what we have done.
Yeah, okay, I know what we did.
We know what we did, and we're very, very sorry. We're also going to play the game that no one seems to want to play, the game where you get to win some prizes. And I don't know if you're not playing because you can't do it, or you're not playing because you just don't want to. But either way, we're going to make it a little bit easier this week, as I'm going to let Marc have a go to kick things off.
Oh, okay.
So Marc may solve some of it for you. This week, we are following the recently orphaned Andy and Piper on their journey through foster care, and more importantly, their stay with the suburban necromancer Laura, a film that is full of gaslighting, creepy kids, ritual resurrection, chicken mutilation, and scenes that will literally have you chewing the countertops with fear. Today, we look at the incredibly dark, incredibly bleak Bring Her Back. Which is an Australian movie, which is
I'm so glad. I'm so glad Australia
horror
is having a resurgence in their horror movies, because I've always been a big advocate for Australian horror movies. There are so many fantastic ones out there, and these guys are just paving the way for Australian filmmakers, and these guys know how to make horror.
They really do. And it's not just these guys. So we had this, we've also had Dangerous Animals. Like this year alone, that's 2 Australian horror movies that sit in the upper echelon of horror movies released this year. Like Australia just, maybe it's because Australia is full, like everything in Australia wants to kill you. Maybe that's what it is. It's living in perpetual fear of
I think,
spiders, snakes, alligators, crocodiles, fucking random insects, plants. Like maybe it's that constant fear of death that allow them to write great horror.
Yeah, I think to be fair, with a lot of my preconceptions of Australian horror movies, they do tend to come from the creature feature subgenre or some sort of swamp-based terror storm that just completely annihilates people into hillbilly countries.
Yeah.
That's kind of Wolf Creek, shit like that, Rogue. There's plenty out there which deserve recognition. And I hope, based off the back of these two directors, that people start going back and checking out some of the back catalogue of Australian horror. It's kind of got that similar sort of thing to it, which French extreme horror has, where they carved out a really cool niche in the late 2000s.
Yeah, Australian horror is very distinctly Australian. And I know that sounds mad, but it's got a specific feel to it, almost the same way that like Jallo has that feel to it. Like Australian horror is like, this is Australian horror. You know it's Australian horror, and all Australian horrors have a darker tone to them. They are very. There's not any happy-go-lucky Australian horror movies that I've seen.
No, no, actually, to be fair, there's not. No.
And this is right fucking up there. So this follows Andy and Piper, who, first of all, I'm going to say Piper, the girl who plays Piper, is an incredible child actress. Like, I really bought into how vulnerable she is and how much she relies on her older brother, not just for sort of assisting her with assessing social situations, like at the beginning where she talks to those girls. Kids are fucking horrible. She goes talks to these girls. She's like, are you going to the mall? And they're like, yeah. And then as she turns around, they're like doing wonky eye things and like taking the piss. And she turns around to Andy's like, they didn't like me, did he? He's like, no, they really liked you. Like, they liked you more than anyone in the world. They're just dicks. The relationship of the brother and sister is really good, and they're only stepbrother and sister as well. And I really liked that dynamic, that he wasn't like, oh, my stepsister, fuck off. He was very much like, no, you're my sister. And I think both of them done a great job.
Yeah, they did. And I'm assuming she is blind in real life. She hasn't just got Bill Skarsgård eyes, because if she has, that's incredible. If not,
no, she's genuinely blind.
Yeah, no, I thought her performance was fantastic. I thought Andy really stood out to me the most. He was incredible. Some of the range that he showcases throughout this movie was brilliant. And I thought, I haven't seen him in anything else. I don't know whether this is first movie he's been in, but I was genuinely like, wow, you're going places, man. You're a very, very good actor. I mean, obviously, the most standout out of all of them has to be Sally Hawkins.
Yeah,
who
Sally,
I can't remember.
She's fabulous in this. She plays Laura. She plays Laura.
Wow. I mean, wow. And then I was like, I know who you are. I've seen you and stuff. And I was like, I was looking. I was like, oh, holy shit! It's Paddington's mum. And I was like, that's now ruined every time I watch Paddington with my children. Thanks for that.
Yeah, she's fully going to necromance Paddington to save her lost child. Like, that's where that would be a fucking awesome horror movie. Paddington Bear trying to avoid this scenario. She's so dark, and like the whole setup to this is dark, where Andy's dad dies and like Piper's stepdad. Like, just that finding him. And like Andy's broken and Piper getting down on the floor and like touching her dad and knowing like that whole scene is like,
it's so uncomfortable. I didn't get this right. So I'm going to air my first beef I have with this movie out right now, just so we can cleanse the air. This build up in the beginning really frustrated me within the first 45 minutes. And this scene in particular was one of those issues that annoyed me, was like, give me some reasoning behind the insistence on this scene, because it was weird as fuck, like really, really uncomfortably weird, and it didn't go anywhere. And I was like, why is she? And I know now in hindsight, it's probably just due to the whole manipulation process of Andy that she was going for throughout the film. But it was so uncomfortable, man.
Yeah, it was, but it does come full circle. Like her feeling the face here at the beginning with her dad, and then at the end she does it with Andy, and she feels his braces, which is how she knows it's him that's been drowned in the puddle. Like,
I just jumped the gun massively. I thought I lost a moment.
Where
it
are
was
you?
very hot in here. I took my glasses off because they were like steaming up with condensation. I reached down to turn on the fan because I was proper sweaty, and I was like, I came back up, got back involved in the conversation, and I thought you were talking about the funeral scene where
no, the
where
funeral
she tries to get Andy to kiss her dad on the lips. I thought that's where we were, and I was like, oh, actually, here we go. Sorry, that's my fault, mate. It's very hot.
It's fine. I'm very, very sweaty and naked from the waist down, which no one can disprove. That scene in particular is the only scene in the movie I take issue with. And the issue I take with it is Andy is, what is he, 17? They've been housed with this woman. I have children around the same age as Andy. If you tell a teenage child, a teenage boy in particular, kiss your dad.
Oh, so
and it's a stranger as well. Like, he's been living with her a couple of weeks. He will say, no, crazy fucking lady, I'm not doing that. And if she tries to force the issue, he will have a teenage style tantrum and stomp off. Like, that's how teenagers work. And the fact that he kissed him on the cheek, she's like, no, on the lips. I'm like, oh, just
Weird.
Yeah, she's like, oh, it's tradition.
You're weird.
Yeah, it's tradition. It has to happen. And I'm like,
he does it. She's like, let me kiss your daddy's dead lips. Oh, he is the fucking creepiest, most awful. Like, even when they first arrive, and she's like, oh, well, welcome, let's measure you. And she stands up against the wall. She measures Piper. And then she's like, oh, Oliver, or whatever your name is, like, come here, I'll measure you too. And it's like when she's measuring Piper, she's like, oh, you're the perfect height. And then she measures Andy and almost stabs him in the eye with the pen. She's like, fuck you. There you go. You're that tall. Like,
yeah, it was even with the photo when he first walked through the door. And it's like, oh, let's take a picture. And then she just stands in front of him. I was like, that's awful.
She is an awful person on the surface. And it's not until you get further through and you actually realize what's happening, and you realize she's just a grief-stricken mother who's doing whatever she can to bring her child back. And all of a sudden, she's a really odd character because she's fucking awful. Like, where she tips her own piss on Andy to convince him he's pissed the bed. I'm like, you need a horrific death.
Yeah.
And then I'm kind of like, oh, but you've been promised by an angel, in inverted commas, actual demon, that you can get your daughter back if you make this happen. Like, I kind of get it, and I kind of like, do I feel sorry?
No, has nobody watched Pet Sematary? This is not a good idea.
It's genuinely not a good idea at all. And the tapes of the ritual, like you get at the beginning, you get scattered through this movie. That ritual is fucking awful.
Yeah, I really like this stuff with the tape expositions. It reminded me a lot of the Wreck movies.
Yeah.
You know, and you get all that demon-possessed child in the attic stuff. I was like, oh, I'm really into this. This is really, really cool. Bear that in mind when we get to the end of this movie.
Okay. But the ritual, so the way the ritual works is you take she classes it as an angel. So an angel possesses a child. So you've lost your child. In this scenario, her child drowned in the pool. So you then take another child and the angel possesses that body. Mm-hmm. You then starve that body until such a point that it's chomping at the bit. You then let it consume the body of your deceased child, and then you kill another child in the same way, and that angel basically transfers the soul of your child into the new offspring that you've killed in whatever way. So in this case, she plans on drowning Piper in the pool. Yeah. But just that whole scenario, that one, you need a vessel. So your child has died. You then need an additional child to house the demon / angel while this
Yep.
process goes on. And then you need a third child to put the soul into. Like, it's not a case
Serial
of
killer territory, man.
yeah, like in
There
this
is an actual trail of bodies in order to make this happen.
yeah, and I can't think of any other possession movie where that happens.
No.
And that I found really interesting, that it's not just a case of, oh, you sacrifice someone and you get what you want. It's a case of you sacrifice two children effectively to get what you want. And that makes it like you can feel Laura's burden with what she's doing, especially later in the movie.
I
She's
was going
really
to
like,
say, you don't necessarily feel it. For me, like I would have preferred it more if you did. You know what I mean? If you felt the weight of it throughout her, constantly second guessing what she was doing, realizing the maniacal behavior that she was presenting towards the kids in the house. I would have digested it a lot more, but she's not. She's just shown throughout as just creepily weird, doing this unthinkably awful things, completely emotionally manipulating Andy to the point of uncomfortableness as a viewer. And I'm like, she shows no remorse throughout, not a single ounce of remorse. And she does at the end, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't show it to Andy. She just shows it to Piper. And it's like, I just don't know. I don't know how consumed somebody could be in grief. And I've experienced grief, you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm in a place to be able to pass judgment on it. I don't understand how you can be so vile and so outright just fucking manipulative in the situation she is throughout, without a shred of remorse for what she's doing, especially considering she's doing it to minors as well.
Yeah, see, I think this is where it's different. Like, you and me have both experienced grief. We've spoken about on the show numerous times. We've both lost parents, and like, that's really hard. But then rewind yourself back into that situation, and you get presented with an opportunity where that doesn't happen, and you bring that parent back. It's the question of how far would you go? And in this scenario, it's a child. Like, if it was your child or my
Dude,
child,
I
God
get
forbid,
it.
like, it's like, at what point would you say, I can't do this, even though it means I don't get my child back? Like, there's not much I wouldn't do.
No, dude, you say that though. You say that, and I agree with you 100% in that sense. But I feel like this movie pushes the boundaries of acceptability. Like I couldn't. I just don't get it. I don't get even to the point of just sheer cruelty towards Andy throughout the movie. It's just like there's just no let up from it, and there's not a single moment. Like, if there was times throughout the movie where she kind of took herself away and had a little bit of a breakdown and was like, fuck, I can't do this, why am I doing this, what's the reasoning behind me doing this, what am I fighting for, kind of thing. But there wasn't. And I'm not to say that she wasn't doing that off the side, but like, it should have been done in a way that showed her battling her own morals in order to execute this. You know, like, I get grief, I get the need and the want, and I get it even more so coming from the perspective where she's lost a child, having children myself. But I don't think, regardless of having lost a child, especially due to an accident, it's not even like she was robbed by somebody else and then she was using people who were like similar to the people responsible for her child's death. It was just a general blatant accident. So like, she's got nobody to blame. So she's not blaming anybody for it. Therefore, she has nowhere to vent that anger towards. Like, if there was a kid who was very similar to Andy, who was responsible for the death of her daughter, you could get that level of resentment and anger towards him, and you could be like, all right, cool, that's fine. But like, there isn't that. And for me to see her commit such atrocities, I'm like, I just don't find it plausible. And I know it's a movie, and I know I've got to let shit like that go. And to be honest with you, it didn't bother me that much when I was watching the film. It's only in hindsight, in conversation now, that it's coming to my attention that I'm like, actually, you know what? No, that's not really how I think this should have panned out.
Do you know, I think the thing I have like her treatment of the kids is, apart from Piper, is awful, and it's the treatment of Oliver that is just like this poor kid. Like they start at the beginning, they accidentally let the cat out, and he stood in the pool, which has now been drained, and I understand that. And this cat, he's picked the cat up, and the cat is scratching the fuck out of him. No emotion, no noise, like he's mute. And like that scene, I'm like, if I was Andy, I'd be like, do you know what? I think I need to call the social worker, and we need to like have a conversation about going somewhere that's a little less fucking creepy, because he scares the fuck out of me. That kid, like, he's a brilliant actor, but that character is genuinely scary, because you at no point does, like, in all the horrific things he does in this movie, there's no emotion. And I'm going to give the example of, would you like a little bit of melon? Nothing at all. He's like, if you write something for me, I'll give you a bit of melon. He's like scrawling away, and he hands him the knife with the melon. Oh my fucking god!
It was awful, dude. I did not like. Do you know when sometimes like you bite something and you get like a bit of gristle? Like say if you have like a burger or something like that, and there's like that little bit of crunchy. Like this dude's chewing on a fucking Michael Myers kitchen knife, and I'm like, oh my goodness me!
It goes in between his two front teeth and like splits them and cuts his top lip, and he's just going. He's there, just like, just.
Yeah, it's wild. It is absolutely wild. What was the reasoning for her explanation of why the kid was mute like he was? I can't remember what she said. Was it something? Was it because of the death of her own daughter that made him become mute?
Yeah, it was. And then when we find out later that he's just a kidnapped kid, you're like,
yeah.
No wonder he's mute, because you're his captive, and you've taken him as a missing child. You've shaven his head so he doesn't look the same as his photo, and then you've locked him in a room and possessed him with a fucking demon. You horrible, horrible bitch.
One thing I did like that was really, really cool was the salt circle, similar to what they do in like Hocus Pocus at the end in the grave, and they put the circle around so the witches can't come in. And then they take Andy takes Oliver out after the incident with the knife, and he's like, "Oh, we need to take you to a hospital." And he drags him outside of the salt circle, even though Oliver's like screaming not to go outside the circle as he's getting closer to it. As he pulls him out, and you start to hear Oliver's real voice coming out, screaming, "Help me," and stuff. I was like, fuck, dude, this is awful. And starts having those fits and spasms. I was like, this is not nice.
It's not nice. And like his skin's blistering up where he's out of the circle. And like that scene is awful. It's literally, you get that awful scene in the kitchen. You're like, okay, right, get him to the hospital, get him to the hospital. And then you see the salt circle, and they give you a brilliant drone aerial shot of this salt circle all the way around the house. So you're like,
yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, this is not going to go well. And then like his skin's burning. Did you notice what he wrote on the bit of paper?
No, I watched this once, to be honest with you, dude. I should have probably given it another rewatch. I just haven't had the time, really. But
he wrote bird, which
yeah,
at the time I was like, bird? Why? That doesn't mean anything. And then you find out later when Andy sees the missing poster in the hospital, it's for Oliver Bird, and I'm like,
his last name, right? Cool.
So dark, so dark. But this is where she comes back. Like Laura comes back with Piper, and I need to talk about this blind football.
Cool.
Didn't know it was a thing. Fucking awesome. Absolutely love this game. But it does hold the risk for severe injuries repeatedly.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb now. This might not go down very well. I love it. Where can I watch it?
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's basically football with a bell in the ball. So they kick the ball and then they hear through it's such a clever way to allow people who are visually impaired to play a sport. And I'm fully down for it. And I want them to do more sports like this, like tennis, rugby.
Yeah, boxing. Let's put them in a boxing ring, put some bells in the gloves, and let them go at it. Be great. I would pay-per-view that shit. Look, I know you're trying to be the nice guy and be like, yes, we should support support communities. No, let me watch it. I'll support them. I'll pay them to do it. I think that would be great.
Oh my god!
I'm joking, obviously. But if someone has a link, feel free to send it to me.
Blind boxing, man. God, you're going to get us cancelled. One thing I thought was really clever in this that they done so subtly is Andy's dad dies in a shower, and which is fucking awful. When Andy goes to live with Laura, he avoids the shower all the time. Like, he doesn't shower. You see him washing from the hose in the garden. And
there he is. There's the guy that doesn't open up his ass cheeks in the shower to let the water in. Just imagine how stinky that ass could be.
What the fuck is that?
Like, he's a smelly dude. When he does finally go for the shower, this is after Laura's tipped her piss on him and convinced him he wet the bed. That scene with his dad.
Right. Issues. Let's air out some more issues. I know I'm bringing them tenfold for this movie.
Before you air the issue, I'm going to say a couple of words that may answer the issue before you air it. There is a blown ass demon in the house that can do shit.
No, right. Bullshit. Don't make leaps because you like the movie. So she cuts the lock of his hair from his casket.
Yeah.
She then feeds the hair to Andy. I can't remember. What does she do with the hair? How does she give it to Andy?
She feeds it to Oliver.
She feeds it to Oliver. I thought she fed it to Andy.
No, she feeds it to Oliver.
Right.
Oliver's desperate to eat anything, so she feeds it to Oliver. So Oliver then has an attachment to Andy and can basically manipulate and do shit with him. Hence why.
No, because it's Andy's dad's hair, not Andy's hair.
No. But then he's got a direct link to Andy.
But then why doesn't he do it to Piper?
Because
he's not in a position to be selective.
Yeah, but she doesn't want Oliver to hurt Piper, but she wants Oliver to hurt Andy and get Andy out of the fucking way.
Nah, didn't buy it, man. I thought it was a cool scene. I really liked it. But again, behind the logics of it, I was like, no. Didn't like the mimicking either. As much as that made for really, really cool scenes of Oliver mimicking the voices of people and the cat and stuff like that. Like, that's creepy as shit. But I need to understand why he can do that.
That's demonic law. That's one of the things demons do.
Don't come at me with your Catholic shit on this episode, dude, because I'm not in the mood for it.
No, literally, in general Catholic law, demons are mimics. They will mimic your voice. They will mimic the voice of others. They will respond to 3 knocks. Like, it's just, that's something that demons do. It's a way of enticing, luring, and then manipulating the situation by sounding like you or someone you love in, for example, they'll sound like someone you love in peril to get you to go to a certain location that they need you in. That's just something that's not just demonic law in Catholicism. That's religion across the board. Demons are mimics.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. But still, this movie doesn't explain that to me.
No, that's just kind of common
What's
knowledge.
with the circle?
What, the circle of salt?
No, the circle that she rubs on his forehead and then draws on the window to lure him in earlier as well.
She shows so that in the tapes of the ritual, the possessed person freaks out and she sees someone like doing
No, I get that. I saw the tape. I saw them do it on the tape.
I don't know what the reason is. It's just, it's monkey see, monkey do. She saw someone do it on a video and went, that might work for the demon I've got at home. I'll give that a go. You know, like when you watch a video of like someone training a dog or someone doing something with their child, you're like, oh, that's a really cool idea. I'll do that because then maybe I can get my kid to stop putting shit on the floor and like put it away. Like, I think it's just that basic.
Yeah, but like, I don't like basic without justification for basic. Like, it's cool, but it looks to me like it's serving a purpose, but I don't know what the justification is for that purpose, and I want to know. I want to know why she's rubbing circle massages on his forehead in order to woo-saw him. I want to know how he's mimicking these people and what the reasoning behind it is. Do you know what I mean?
You've just... Like I'm going to have to release a reel now, aren't I, with that scene where she's rubbing his head. And I have to have a voice over going, Woosah. Woosah.
Honestly, guys, and you wonder where Scott gets his real ideas from.
Literally every real idea comes from this show. I finish recording and I sit here and I write 5 or 6 reels for the following week.
But right, no, look, I am nitpicking and I'm being bitchy, and it's not because I dislike the movie, because I genuinely do like the movie. I thought it was great. I had a really, really cool time with the middle section of this film. I was like, this is fucking awesome from start to finish. But we're here, and I know people like say, oh, you pulled that apart for no reason. I'm not pulling it apart for no reason. I didn't sit there when I watched the movie and was like, this bit shit, I don't get this, this is fucking crap, and throw my popcorn on the floor. That's not the case. But now we're conversating about it. These are just little tidbits that popped up in my head, and I'm like, but why is that like that? Why is this like that?
See,
I didn't dwell on it during my experience, but now we're talking about it and we have reason to conversate. I was hoping you could enlighten me on these moments, but all you're going to really tell me is, it's a demon.
just because. Yeah. Do that again. There are a couple of bits that I kind of like, but I kind of need a bit of explanation too. The main one is that Andy has a slip and a fall. He's a fall, terrible fall in the bathroom. I felt it was very personal to me. I felt every second of this.
I understand, dude. I understand. This must have been very, very difficult for you.
This was the most traumatic thing. It's like, oh god, he's fallen in the bathroom. Like, this is
someone get him an alarm, quick!
But he ends up in the hospital, and this is where she basically goes, yeah, well, look, we're just going to get you rehoused now because you're a bad person. And then she, like, the thing she does with Piper, where she sprays herself in Andy's deodorant and comes in and thumps her, like, proper, like, not a punch, just a thump, the bottom of the fist in her eye, and convinces Piper that, like, it was Andy. Like, this this whole setup was amazing. And then she leaves the house. And when she leaves the house and Oliver gets out, Oliver's little rampage, this is where I need explanation. Like, she kept him locked up so he cannot eat, because he eats fucking everything.
The kitchen counter, literally eat the kitchen counter and chews like a fucking chunk out of that shit. I was like, oh my God. You've just been chewing on a kitchen knife and half your face is hanging off and you can still eat a breakfast bar? What is going on with you?
And the bit where he bites her hand and tears a strip of skin off up her arm. You know, like when you
it like degloves her. It like degloves her. I was like, whoa! Do you know what? Sometimes I don't know if I've seen like a reel or something about it, but then like I've had dreams about it in recent years. Do you know when you get like that weird little bit of skin on your fingernail?
Yeah.
And then you pull it. I've had dreams where like I've pulled it and it's just kept going and going and going. And that was kind of what that scene reminded me of.
That's exactly what it is. And the thing is, you are the person who keep pulling it to see how far it went. Like a normal person would go, oh, that's got a little bit far up my finger. I'm just going to put a bandage on that. You'd be like, how far does it go? It's gone over my shoulder. It's going down my cheek. This is awesome. Like that whole scene where he goes fucking nuts, and at the same time Andy's like on the phone to the social worker going, this bitch is crazy. You need to come to her house and see what she's doing. She's got a kidnapped kid that I've identified. He's fucking locked up in her house and she's doing some weird ass shit. Like, this whole segment is so chaotic and so much happens that I've watched this movie multiple times, but I need almost a director's commentary to help me through it, because so much is going on.
This is like my favorite segment of the movie, because this is where I get everything. This is where I get everything I need. I get all the payoff to the manipulation of Andy, and all, like, not just the manipulation of Andy, but like all the weird little things she's done throughout this movie come full circle here. You can see what she's been building towards. Manipulating him, making him wet him, thinking he's wet himself. She's basically trying to get him sectioned, which is what she does at the hospital. And the drive back in the car, and she's like, you've lost your mind, you're not yourself, and I can't believe they've let you back out 2 days later, and all the rest of it, because she needs him to be aware for this specific date which she checked on the weather because she needs the heavy rainfall to fill up the pool. So
Yep.
she knows she has a timeline in order to make sure Andy's out of the situation over these dates. So I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Now I get it. Now I get why you've drawn the line on the pool on the outside, and you're checking the weather for heavy rain. You need Andy away for this specific time, which is why you've been doing the things you've been doing to Andy in order to get him out of the house. You punched Piper wearing Andy's deodorant that you gave to him in the hospital, so that she can smell the smell of Andy, thinking that it's Andy who's hit her. And then they've had this big build-up with the story of Andy hitting Piper when he was very, very young due to being beaten by his dad and his jealousy. Being a child, obviously very regretful of the situation. He's not a bad guy. But then she plays on that in order to get Andy to have a massive uproar in the house. And she's goading him, like proper goading him, like fuck, to get him to just blow up in front of Piper so she can have Piper to herself. And he punches through the wall.
And she's like, oh, he hit me, he hit me.
Yeah.
He hit me. Oh, you're
excellent. I just fucking loved all of this. This, for me, was my favorite moments in the movie because I'm like, right, brilliant. I fucking finally get where we're going with this now. Because this movie takes 45 minutes to sort of even start to unfold slightly, and I take great issue with the first 45 minutes. There's a hell of a lot of pacing problems that I'm borderline on the edge of fucking being bored here if you don't start giving me some payoff to some of this weird shit you keep drip feeding me. And I get it all here in like sort of like an hour
10
and
minutes.
10, an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes in, which is fine. And I could take all of that had we not spent 45 minutes getting to that point. It needed to be a steady 25, 30 minutes in that beginning segment. So then that would have tightened this movie up to a solid 90 minutes. So for me, I just think you just push the boundaries of building tension and drip feeding information to the point of dragging out your runtime with the first 45 minutes. And that's where one of my main issues lies with this film. But when we get to the payoff, I was at a moment of like, yeah, you're forgiven. That was completely worth the payoff. I'm happy with where you've gone with it. I would have done it slightly better myself, but now we're here. No, I don't mean in terms of the writing. I just mean in terms of the control of the runtime. Yeah. And I think for me, when we got there, I was like, yeah, I can forgive it now. I can forgive it. I'm on board. This is fucking brilliant.
See, my favorite bit comes after this big crescendo of everything's fucked, and she listens to Andy's voicemail to Piper, where he's basically saying, like, I've called the social worker, we're on our way, don't worry, we're going to be there, I love you. And she goes into mad panic cleaning mode.
It was like a fucking... This was like a bit silly for me.
It was mass. Like, she cleared up a house that honestly looked like a nuclear wave had gone through it, and it was fucking immaculate. Like, there was glass everywhere, there was fucking chicken feathers up the walls, there was blood on everything, and she mops everything up in the 15 minutes that it takes the social worker to get there. But the scene with the social worker is so well done.
Yeah.
The social worker was like, oh, hi, Laura, how you doing? Yeah, okay, well, I need to come and have a look because I've got Andy in the car. And she takes her around the house. She's like, look, everything's normal. Like, this is this room, this is this room. And she keeps her out of the bathroom, which has still got broken glass and blood in it. And like, it's all gone perfectly till she gets to the door and she rubs her nose, and some of the blood from the massive fucking chunk that Oliver's taken out is on her face. She's like, Laura, you seem to have some blood on you. She's like, and she goes from like being completely calm and controlled and in charge of this situation to, but the angel said we can bring her back. We can bring her back. You don't know we can bring her back. And this is where the social worker's like, yeah, like, we need to like take the kids off you now because you're fucking unhinged. And she goes out and she gets Andy, and they're kind of like going across the car park. At no point
before we get to the smash off, I just want to say, like, that particular scene only works because of a simple throwaway line between Andy and the social worker when they're in the office, and he's like, Laura's worked here for 15 years. She is one of the best workers we had. If it wasn't for the fact that her daughter died, she would still be here. I have no reason to doubt anything out of the ordinary with her behavior. Do you know, like they're close friends, they're 15-year friendship, you know what I mean? So when she goes into the house and she's nonchalant walking around, not really checking anything, but sort of following protocol, it's not because she's lacking in her job in order following these checks properly. It's because she has so much faith in a friendship that she's had for 15 years. And when you get that breakdown from Laura where she sees the blood and then Laura's like, and it doesn't just go, she doesn't go maniacal straight away. She's like, please, you need to leave. I need to finish this. I'm begging you. And she literally begs, like I'm begging you, you need to leave. And she's so calm and collected the way she's doing it, to the point where Andy then finds a dead body in the freezer in the garage.
With Oliver chewing the forehead of
just chewing the fucking skull out of this thing. And then he starts screaming his head off. And that's when she's like, the Laura just flips and she's dragging her, she pulls her cardigan off. And I was shocked by this next scene. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think they were going to go there, and they did.
Yeah, the SUV mowing them both down, crushing the social worker against the other car.
It's completely wiping Andy out to the point of fucking no return anyway.
Yeah, no return anyway. And then Laura goes over and drowns him in a puddle. Like, honestly, of all the ways to go, that has got to be the most... Like, it's not even like an epic death. Like, Andy done enough in this. He deserved an epic death.
I don't think he deserved to die at all, I'll be honest with you.
No, but to die in a puddle because he's so badly injured that he just can't fight back
that's what makes it even worse. Yeah, it's like he is so fucked.
And honestly, it's like, we watch so much death in horror movies, and the amount of times we sit here and go, that was a cool kill. Like, this was not a cool kill. This was just heartless. It was so heartless. And then she follows this by going and getting Piper. And
I think the thing about Andy's death, before we move on, is because Andy has been the focal of the story. You are following him.
Yeah.
And this is where the story just flips, because the narrative's changed now, because Andy was our viewpoint of the situation from the opening credits right up until this point. And you get that much, and I spent the next 10 minutes after his death in the puddle thinking he's not dead. Like, he's maybe, the same. He's like, he's not. He's maybe just played dead for a little bit, and then he's gonna wake up, roll over, or something like that, get his breath, and he's gonna go save Piper. No, they fully killed him in that moment, and I couldn't believe it. And I was convinced that it wasn't true for a good 15 minutes afterwards.
I was like, the bit where she's like lowers Piper into the pool, and you've got Oliver there with his fucking red eyes and his teeth like fucking sticking out all over the place like a Toblerone. Like, in that scene, and Oliver's like nodding at her, going, "Yes, drown her in the pool." And like, as she dunks her once, she brings her back up, and it's Piper goes, "Mum." And this is where Laura has the full emotional breakdown of.
She kind of starts to break a little bit beforehand, because Piper pops up once, and it's the begging of, please just let me do this. And I was like, oh, you don't want to do this. You clearly don't want to do this, but you clearly have to. And this is what I was referring to earlier. I needed more of that throughout. Yeah, I needed more moments of her doing the malicious shit she did, but then running off to her room and sort of like breaking down about it and being like, fuck, but then composing herself and going back out and doing the shit again. Do you know what I mean? They're the moments where I feel like this movie really missed the mark on Laura's breakdown at the end, because when she said mama and Laura let Piper go, all I got from that was a fucking stupidness from Batman versus Superman, where he says fucking Martha, and then Batman and Superman just all of a sudden stop fighting because they've both got the same name, Mother. I was like, that was that kind of moment for me. I was like, no, because you haven't shown anything towards this in this entirety of this movie, which would show that you have the emotional capability to be able to feel sorrow for Piper in this moment. You have an end game, and you have a goal, and you are trying to execute it regardless of the situations that unfold around you. And this singular scene feels out of place with the context of your character up until this point.
Yeah, and her character's tragic as well, because after she has let Piper go and Piper goes running off down towards the road, Laura then goes to where her daughter is and slits her wrists and then drags her daughter back to the pool. And by the time the police get there, they're both dead in the pool, cuddling each other. And I was like, this is the most heartbreaking shit I've ever seen. And the fact
There was a
that,
circle in the pool as well. Did you see that?
yeah, but
I feel like it's one of those Ari Aster things where you go back and watch it and there's just circles everywhere.
yeah, I think so as well. And this movie is intrinsically linked with Talk to Me, which we'll talk about in facts, which is wild as fuck because these two at some point are coming together. I like the fact that they find Oliver and the demon has left him. And like as soon as they find him, he's like, Oliver Bird, my name's Oliver Bird. I was kidnapped, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's good. Because like you've done nothing wrong and you're going to go home to your parents. And that's wonderful. The flip side of this is Piper that's in the back of a police car. And earlier in the movie, Andy's like, oh, if you see a plane going up to heaven, it's taking Dad. And as she's driving away, you see a plane go, and she's like, "Oh, it must be Andy," and she smiles, which is lovely.
How did you see the plane?
That's a fucking good point. That is an excellent point because they actually.
How did she see the fucking plane? It was raining outside. She is blind. All she can hear is rain pounding down on the police car she is in. How did she see that fucking plane in the sky?
She must have heard it. It was a loud.
No, she didn't hear it because she's in a police car that's been pounded by torrential rain.
Honestly, I don't know. You've just picked the biggest fucking plot hole in this movie that I missed, and I'm sure everyone else who watched this missed it too. Holy shit.
I'll let it slide. But right, no, serious talk though now. This ending fucking ruined this movie for me. The beginning ruined the movie in a sense of how I had issues with pacing. The middle pulled it back, and I thought it was fucking brilliant. And the ending just fucking abolished any love and appreciation I had for it because it didn't commit, man. It didn't commit. It didn't follow through with what it should have done. Piper should have died in that pool. The demon possession situation should have come full circle. And in my opinion, it should have just gone horribly wrong. She shouldn't have had the happy ending that she wanted with her daughters. Her daughter should have come back like Pet Sematary shit and just fucking ripped her throat out there and then. And considering how bleak the movie is all the way up until this point, this happy ending shit that we get just felt so fucking out of place to me, man. I was infuriated by it. And I was like, no. Why have you done this? This didn't deserve this ending. And I would have walked away so happy and so committed to the fact that I loved this movie and been like, I can forgive any slight pacing issues I have. And I would have spoke about this film on the same sort of level that I do like Hereditary or what's the one we got recently on Shudder? It's Evil Lurks, you know, like the balls it takes to just give that gritty, brutal, dark ending that these movies deserve. And I feel like this movie warranted it and it should have done it and it didn't. And I was just like disappointed in you guys, man. It should have been there.
Yeah. And I'm kind of with you, but I also kind of like the ending that we got. Like this movie, it's not so much a movie that scares you. It's a movie that emotionally traumatizes you all the way through. Like this movie is emotionally damaging. Like I wouldn't say to anyone who's having any issues with grief that this is a good movie to watch. I also wouldn't recommend this to anyone who
lost a child
or generally having a hard time in life, because this is it's a rough watch.
Yeah,
and I think
really
because it's such a rough watch, I think having that, it's not even a fucking happy ending. Like her brother died, Laura died, like just that glimmer of hope at the end that Oliver's going to see his family again and Piper is alive and going to get a new family. I think if you don't have that, like this is the sort of movie that will make people do themselves in. Like this movie is so...
I mean, the ending's still bleak as fuck. Oliver's absolutely fucked and going to suffer from PTSD for the rest of his life due to the situation he's encountered. Piper's going to be going through the same thing. She's a child, but she's of an age where she's going to remember everything that's happened to her throughout this situation. And she's blind. She's going to be petrified of every single noise she hears going forward. Like, it's still bleak, but it wasn't the bleak ending that I feel the movie deserved.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you with that. Have you got anything else you want to go into before we do recommended account?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. The thing is, I feel like it's important for me to air the issues that I had with this movie because I know it's so widely loved. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to
Yeah.
feel like I'm just being that guy because I'm not, because I genuinely wanted to love this movie. I love Talk to Me, and I was like, yes, this is going to be fantastic. And when I'm seeing everybody talk about how great this movie is, I'm even more hyped for it. And it's not even one of those situations where I've gone in because everybody's overhyped it for me, and it's like, and then I've been underwhelmed due to the, because I can see why people love it. I'm seeing through it, and I'm seeing the things that people have probably walked out of the cinema being like, oh, that was the best thing ever, which I'm sure you probably had that experience, and I'm glad you did.
I did.
But picking it apart and looking at things on a critical standpoint and trying to figure out what connects all these dots, there are so many glaring issues that I had that I'm like, oh, that just doesn't work. And I'm like, and I feel terrible for being the guy that has to do that, because I wish nothing but the best for these two directors. The journey that they've been on from where they started to where they are now is fucking nothing but commendable, you know. And I wanted this to be another success story for them, but for me it just wasn't. There's enough there for me to still be like, yes, I can't wait for what they do next, but this is nowhere near as great as what I found Talk to Me to be, in my opinion.
I disagree, but it's fine because I have the perfect music to take you into your recommended account.
Wanna be a grump, that's okay, but could you be a grumpy kind of further away? It's not that I don't love you, because you know I do. Sometimes I'm grumpy too.
I like that.
I thought you might.
This week's recommended account is Retro Toys on Instagram, and you can find them at Retro Toys SNL. Retro Toys is a toy collector who also has a store, so you can buy all of the things that he collects. Amazing. Maybe me and you are both on our similar sort of paths at the moment. We're collecting shit from car boot sales, anything we find, which was fantastic 5 years ago. I am finding it so fucking difficult at the minute. Charity shops used to be like a really good haul for me. Like if I'm working away and I'm in a new location, I could pop into like a charity shop and I'd find really cool shit for next to nothing. But they're all switched on now, man. I've got like, do you know that Gremlins book that I posted a couple of weeks, maybe about a month ago now on Instagram? It was like a Gremlins annual that I found.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, like 5 years ago, I would have picked that up for like 25p, 50p. These dudes were charging a tenner for that thing.
Yeah.
Because everyone's clicking on now to the coolness of nostalgia bit, and it's like it's making my collecting habits really, really difficult.
Mine too.
But anyway, sorry, that's a rant on its own separate thing. That's nothing to take away from this week's recommended account. So this guy collects vintage toys, but he also sells them on his Instagram page, and there's some amazing stuff on there, stuff that you wouldn't find at car boot sales, stuff you wouldn't find in charity shops, that just bring back so many wild memories of things that I've forgotten about. I really like this account, and I think it deserves a lot of recognition. I know that a lot of our listeners would really like this account too. So you can find them at Retro Toys SNL on Instagram. And as always, give them a like, give them a follow, let them know that the You Run podcast sent you that.
Hey everyone, I want to talk to you about a couple of the shows that you can get on the You Run Podcast Network by visiting our website, yourunpodcast.com. Now, the first one of these shows is the Pop Culture Reflections podcast. This is a show that's hosted by Justin, who's an incredible guy, and he is so engrossed in the pop culture of our history, be that 80s, 90s, more modern into the 2000s, even stuff that is relevant now in pop culture. And this doesn't just cover movies, it's TV series, professional wrestling, music, like anything you could possibly imagine. He's got a new series at the moment that he's doing with Greg Hoey from You're Gonna Eat That Crust podcast, which focuses specifically on underdiscovered music, so he's definitely worth checking out. The other show I want to talk to you about is the Girl and the Gay podcast. This is hosted by Jay and Becky, and they dive into movies. Not just horror movies, they do action movies, they do romantic comedies. They have a very unique dynamic between them, and Jay hasn't seen a lot of the movies that they cover, which gives a real unique and a real open perspective on things that are considered legacy great movies, Jay might look at them and go, that's dreadful, but it's so authentic and so original that you need to check them out as well. So the Girl and the Gay podcast and Pop Culture Reflections podcast can both be found at yourunpodcast.com, along with all the other members of the You Run Podcast Network. Let's get back to the show.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you very much. Please go and follow Mark's recommended account. I know we say it every week, but it genuinely means a lot to us. Me and Mark have both achieved a minority success on social media. We both have reasonable size accounts now, and us sharing other accounts is a way of us sharing that success and trying to get them more followers, and like it's a win-win. We recommend them, you go, the You Run Podcast Center's here, and they're like, who's the You Run Podcast? Oh, they've got a horror podcast, I like horror movies, and then they listen. Do you see how it works? It's really simple. Also, yourunpodcast.com. On there you find links to all of the shows of the You Run Podcast Network, our shows, our merch, kind of literally everything. In the next week or so, we're going to have all the Patreon links on there as well, and the 2 new additional shows. So, like, literally, yourunpodcast.com for everything. While you're on Instagram, follow Mark for VHS masturbation material, VHS from the Crypt. Or for a more refined, elegant, wordy kind of review account, go to Reviews from the Crypt, and both of those are awesome accounts. And yeah, honestly, just fill you with joy and envy and rage when he's like, oh, look at this thing I picked up for 50p. And you're like, that's about £1,000 worth of, I hate you. Like,
again, like I said, they're coming very few and far between at the moment. I am still digging as always, but yeah, it's people are wise now. People know what they have as opposed to what they didn't know, and they used to. It's like I remember, like some of the games consoles I have, like I picked up most of them I owned from childhood. Yeah. But then some of them, like my mum would casually throw away and be like, "Oh, I don't know, I haven't seen it." You know, because it's been in a box under the stairs for the past couple of years, and then you just get the urge to play Super Mario. It's like, "Oh no, I don't know where it's gone." It's like, "Fuck you! I know you threw that shit out."
Yeah.
So I've had to buy a few of them back. Some of them I like picked up for like a tenner, you know, at a car boot sale and stuff. But now you'll go. There was someone who had like, so I've got Sega Mega Drive 1. She had the original Sega Mega Drive with like 6 or 7 games. And she was wanting like £40 a game and then like £120 for the console. And I was like, I could have got this for a tenner all in 3 years ago. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, so last Christmas I bought Lisa a SNES, and it came. I bought like 6 or 7 games with it. It's 100 and something quid. But I know even 3 years ago, I'd have picked that up for 50 quid.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, I bought it and it was very much I'm buying this for Lisa because Lisa loved the SNES, but also there was a big part of I want to play Mario on the SNES again, and this is available. This is now Lisa's Christmas present.
I mean, I've got to be grateful. Like, it's kind of everything I've done seems to have been done at the right time. So I collect retro video games and stuff like that as well. Not so much these days because the skyrocketing prices are insane, but I went on a Sergeant's with like PlayStation 1 maybe about 6 years ago. And I was picking them up on eBay, even on eBay for like £1, £2 a game.
Yeah.
Most people will have like 60 quid a game now. And I hit that just at the right time. I managed to get sort of like an all killer, no filler collection sort of everything that I wanted without just collecting general crap. And I did the same with VHS like maybe 3 years ago. Because it was just like nobody wanted them. And I hit it at the right time. And it weren't like I was purposely planning to do so. It was just a coincidental thing with Gareth and stuff like that. And I was like, do you know what? That's fucking awesome. And then I started collecting. And like I managed to get some really cool heavy hitters, a proper solid collection of stuff that I was like, that's fucking awesome. And I'm so glad I went headfirst into it when I did. Because everything that I own now, which has cost me like £1 a tape, are like 50, 60 quid plus a tape to buy. And it's everything's just on a real weird trajectory. And I'm like, man, this is just fucking nuts. Like, that's why on my pages and stuff now, you don't tend to see a lot of new stuff coming in. Not just because they're expensive, but I just managed to collect everything I really wanted at the right time of needing it. And it's wild, man. It's like Goosebumps books. I know I'm going massively off and dragging this episode talking about shit, but Goosebumps books you used to walk into a charity shop and pick up for like 25p, 50p a book. Max.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah, without even trying.
a singular Goosebumps book these days, when you walk into a charity shop, is like £3 to £4,
Yeah.
which is just mass inflation. You're talking like Freddo and fudge chocolate bar inflation, like Space Raiders packet of crisps inflation in the space of a couple of years. It's just nuts, dude.
If anyone wants a tip on something to go and collect now that is really well priced now, in 10 years' time is going to be worth a fortune, join me on my process at the moment of going and collecting PlayStation 3 games.
Yeah, I hit those a couple of years ago. Got them well out of the way.
Yeah.
PS4's come down really good at the moment. So if you are a retro game collector, PS4's at like its lowest at the moment. Once we get to like PS6, PS7, that's when the PS4 retro era is going to start coming in, and they're going to be again 40, 50 quid a game again. But at the moment, you can go into a local CEX and pick up most PS4 games, unless it's like heavy hitter titles like Resident Evil and God of War and stuff. Most PS4 games are within the £2 to £3 region.
Yeah, exactly that. Anyway, if you're not on Instagram, you can't follow Mark because he doesn't go anywhere else. Like, it's Instagram only. But you can follow us. We're at You Run Podcast everywhere. Also on YouTube. And if you go there, you'll get 5 episodes a week. You'll get this episode. You'll also get 4 other episodes talking about other cool horror stuff and showing my collection and stuff like that as well. If you want to support the show, you can do that. It's patreon.com/You Run Podcast. There's a selection of tiers where you part with your hard-earned cash and we give you something extra, be it early release episodes with no adverts, plus early release of all the YouTube, or you get You Run Extra, which is our extra show where we've done 3 episodes so far. We've done our most influential horror. We've done Lord of the Rings, where Mark gushed for an hour and 30 minutes of pure joy. And
do you know what? I don't actually think I did. I think I was so shell-shocked by that episode you had to take charge because I just didn't know where to put myself.
Yeah, kind of. And we've just done our brand new episode, which is out now, which is covering Dexter, where when I edited it, we have 36 minutes where we talk about everything but Dexter. Like that episode.
That was fun though. That I like that. That was a cool sort of just kick back, have a couple of beers, just air out a load of shit, man. It was good. I like that episode a lot.
It's a really great episode. So there's lots of tiers on there. You can also join as a free member, and if you join as a free member, you get 1 early release episode a week, and you get some other tidbits that I still struggle to restrict that somehow end up for free. But hey, so go and do that. Patreon.com/You Run Podcast. If you can't join us on Patreon, we understand, but the free tier, we don't. It's free. But there are things we don't understand, and we don't understand you doing the free things that you can do right now. Tell a friend about the show, share the episode on social media, leave a 5-star review, comment on Apple or Spotify, and do the stuff that helps us, because it helps us grow and it helps us feel rewarded for the free show we give you every single week, 52 weeks a year. Let's do some facts. There are some wild ass facts in here. Sora Wong, who plays Piper, no acting experience whatsoever. Her mum spotted a casting call on a Facebook group asking for someone who is visually impaired. She was born with, I'm going to butcher these names, coloboma and microphthalmia, which left her with very limited sight. She's very partially sighted. So her mum saw this, took her to the casting call. As soon as she arrived, Philippi Brothers went, "You're who we want. Thank you very much. No one else is needed. Where do you sign?" Never acted a day in her life before this.
That's cool.
Really, really cool. The Philippi Brothers turned down. In fact, no, they didn't turn down. They were signed and started work on another movie, which they abandoned to do this. And that movie was a reboot of Street Fighter.
I want a reboot of Street Fighter.
It's
definitely
coming next year. It's coming next year. It's already been cast. It's happening.
Cool. Right. All right. I'm excited for that. I don't think it will ever be as good as Kylie Minogue and Jean-Claude Van Damme and dude, why has my mind gone blank on the dude who played Bryce?
Rob.
I want to say Rob. Paul.
No,
RuPaul.
Roll Julia.
Yes, there we go. Yeah. That movie was fucking great, man. Do you know what? That movie is still great. But yeah, and those are characters I need to come back, especially Mortal Kombat 2 coming out this year. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
But that's, again, I'm tangenting off. I don't think that would have worked for these guys. I think they're like on a tangent now where I'm so excited about what they do next. Regardless of my bitching on this episode, I'm like, yes, you are the next sort of Ari Aster, Jordan Peele. You've got a lane now, just execute it flawlessly.
The thing is, though, to be in a position where you go, there's a big studio here and like they're paying us loads of money. This is a film that's got $100 million plus budget. Thanks a lot. We're gonna dip out now. We're gonna let you get someone else, and we're gonna go and direct a low budget horror movie in Australia. Thanks. Like to have the confidence in your own ability to go, we fucking made it. They're paying us so much money, and then to follow that with, yeah, but we want to go and do this independent film. Like, I really admire people who've got the balls to do that, because that takes some serious stones to turn around to. I think it was Warner Brothers, to turn around to Warner Brothers and go, thanks very much for the opportunity, but fuck you guys, we're going to do our own thing.
Do you know what? Yes and no. Yeah, it takes balls to turn up and tell a studio like that to go fuck themselves. But at the same time, I think there is someone behind the curtains and being like, look, guys, this is not a smart decision. You have one movie, which was a very, very good movie. But this is a big studio property and a very well-loved title. If this doesn't go well for you, your career is over.
Yeah,
you know, if they do 5 or 6 movies like this where they're like cemented as the guys, you know what I mean, and then Street Fighter flops, it doesn't fucking matter. They're still the guys. But if they do Talk to Me, they do Street Fighter. Street Fighter's a bomb. No one's touching them ever again. Well, so I think they made the very, very clever decision to turn that down and build a back catalogue of fucking confidence before having the ability to have a couple of flops under their belt. I think that's very smart.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They revealed something really cool in an interview in the press tour for this. So this movie is linked to Talk to Me. And what they said is, there's a small way all of these movies tie together in the fact that they exist in the same world and the same street. So Talk to Me happened in a house over the road.
That's a weird street to live on.
It's a fuck living in that street. Like, that's the street you don't want to be anywhere near. But having these officially linked by the directors opens up a whole world of fucking possibility for Talk to Me too. As to like, is that going to then lean into, oh shit, there's demons when you touch the hand if you're stuck in there too? Like, that announcement, I was like, yes, I'm fully in. Give me the dark horror version of the Avengers. Like, give me the Talk to Me hand, give me the demon. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
I know what you're saying. Yes, it has the potential to be cool, but it also... I'm kind of on the fence with this kind of stuff, because sometimes it works. I like it. I like
Freddy
the
versus Jason.
interconnectability.
It's 22 years old this week. Works perfectly. Great movie.
Yeah, it was 22 weeks old 3 weeks ago when this episode comes out.
Well, as we're recording this today, Freddy versus Jason is 22 years old today.
Yeah.
Sound design for this, they focused a huge amount on sound design. They had 750 layers of sound to create the atmospheric backtrack to this, which I thought was awesome. How long do you reckon it took them to shoot this film, start to finish?
I mean, it's quite an isolated movie. I know there's a few major set pieces with the SUV sort of crash scene and stuff. I'm going to say sort of wild, like 14 days.
No, it wasn't quite that short, but they announced it in April of 2024. They started shooting in June, and 41 days later, they were complete, wrapped, done editing.
No, nothing for reshoots or anything like that.
Nope. One and done. 41 days. We're done. Thanks very much. We're going to edit for a month. We'll see you in a month. Yeah, but that is fucking rapid. So you had issues with the overall tone and it not taking that really dark twist. Initially, it was going to have that uber bleak ending that honestly I think I'd still be emotionally distraught by it. So the film is dedicated to Harvey Wallace, who's a close friend of the brothers. In early stage production, he passed away, and his death changed the focus of the movie from scares and just fucking visceral awfulness into a look at emotional trauma and how you deal with death and the effect that that has on someone and how you can come out of those situations. So it was actually a real life death of a friend that changed that narrative. And I kind of respect that. It's like you've had something big go on in your life. That one of the brothers, I think it was Michael, described this as this movie was very much a healing process for him, which is why it changed, why they were filming it. It's like, I'm not in the right headspace to do this super bleak, dark ending. Like in my life right now, I don't need that. I need to have a ray of hope. And I quite like that.
Yeah, I get it. Now you give the backstory to it. Is like, fine, you do you. It's your art. You do whatever you want to do with your art. But again, no disrespect. I don't know the guy. I don't know who died. I'm watching the movie. It didn't work for me. This was not the ending that this story deserved. So yeah, sorry to be that guy. It didn't work for me.
Well, it is what it is. We have some voicemails. Do you want the nice voicemail or the horrible voicemail first? Where would you like to start?
I'll have the nice one first, please. I feel like we need to start on a good note.
Incredibly, the nice one comes from Dave this week, which
cool.
What? Dave's not coming after you. Dave actually comes with a story.
Good morning. So I'm listening to Evil Dead episode, and I thought I'd tell you my duct tape story. So back in late 90s, early 2000s, I was working in a small town on a fair. And you may know the ride. It's called the Sizzle or Twister in most places. You've got 3 arms with 3 seats. They spin round and it bounces and great fun. Well, when operating those rides, you can actually walk inside the ride along the outside without getting hit by the car. And we did it regularly when we set it off. My mate was operating it. I was on the floor this time. So I was taking the money as they were, and he still took cash. I had a big watch, must have been a couple £100 in a ball in my pocket. I put it back into my pocket and did a hole in my pocket and it fell through. So I instinctively bent down to pick up this big ball of money, and one of the cars at full pelt hit me in the head. So as you can imagine now, my head is cut open, it's gushing, blood everywhere. So it being bank holiday Monday, the local hospital was miles away, and I was about to earn a shitload of money because we did on bank holidays. So I went up to the burger van. Literally, bit of blue roll, pepper, duct tape all over my head, went back to work for the rest of the day. Absolutely fine. Got a lovely scar there now to tell the story. So duct tape is literally a lifesaver. Laters.
I mean, there's a lot of revelations in that story. Not only the fact that Dave is a carny makes perfect sense to me, but the fact that he's taken a severe knock to the head in his life and his tastes in horrors have now made more sense to me than they ever have in their entirety. So yeah, cheers for the info, Dave, and maybe I shouldn't be so harsh on you in the future because now I understand. Severe blow to the brain and you're a carny. I'm on board.
Me and Dave have very similar taste in movies. I have not had a blow to the head, and I am not a carny. So,
dude, you are prone to falls. Let's not air this out. We know you are a fall guy.
Also, on the subject of the Evil Dead, we really upset a close friend of ours, Heather. Like really upset to the point that I thought Heather was going to block us both and tell us both to die. We received 15 minutes of messages from Heather. Now, we're not going to play them here because it's 15 minutes. We're going to stick them on You Run Extra, which you need to pay for. That's on Patreon. But I am going to give you a quick montage of some of the highlights of the 15 minutes to give you sort of a feel for how angry Heather was. And Heather, before I play this, like, again, we're sorry. We didn't mean to upset you. We love you. Please keep being our friend because fuck, we know we pushed you too far.
I crossed the line. I do you know what? I feel bad, right? I feel bad that I upset Heather. That's all I feel bad about. Everything else I stand by, and I'm sorry, Heather, but I was right.
Well, this will give you an indication. If you listen to You Run Extra, comes out 15th of September. This is a snippet of what you're in store for.
Mark, are you like smoking weed? Y'all are driving me insane already. Roast beef. It's roast beef. If you knew about the film, like y'all claim to do, y'all give me a fucking hard time all the time. Don't backpedal along with Mark on your fucking tandem bike. Yo, get the... Ooh, that's what I feel like. Y'all drive me insane. I hope you make this into a series. That would be so fun.
Like, that makes it sound very light-hearted, but there was a moment throughout that Evil Dead gate that I was genuinely concerned that there was no coming back from it with our relationship, because I was pushing some serious buttons to the point where I don't often sit back during a debate with Heather where I'm like, I think I've crossed a line here, and I should apologize. I genuinely apologized.
Yeah, we both done the same, and Heather. It's a movie. Like, we can have different opinions. It's cool. We love you. We're sorry. It is cool. Anyway, I also dug out some messages from Spotify because we haven't had some messages for a while. Lady Crisis, this is after the Labyrinth episode. Fun episode. This was not a huge part of my childhood, but it was for my husband. So it makes an appearance on my TV more frequently than I would like. The tunes are catchy, though. Well... Right, I'm sorry, Mary, but no, it's a fucking great movie and everyone should love it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Well, you agree with that on Labyrinth? It's a great movie, everyone should love it.
No, I agree that
that's
it
what
shouldn't
you
be
said.
played. I shouldn't be played in her house.
Damn it!
It shouldn't be played in anybody's house.
Also, after Labyrinth, this is a message from Chaz Presley on one of the episodes. He put, "I've just realised Mark has been like Frodo this month on a journey." Rowan, after our scary movie episode, this is big props. The best scary movie review I have ever heard.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Scare Time Productions, which is AMPFX, Alex, is his production company studio. His comment was on the Megan 2 episode. Even Gladys pieced out. Megan 2.0 looked terrible anyway, but that intro was absolutely hilarious. If you want to share your comments, put them on Spotify, put them on YouTube. Also send us voicemails. We love voicemails. We asked you to share your thoughts on this movie, and you did. I've picked a fair balance because I kind of knew where Mark was on this as well. We're going to do the positive ones first. Beards and movies. Full of dread and tension and mystery. But that scene, holy bad word, that was sickening. I've watched a lot of stuff, but that scene just about did me. That's the knife scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
One enthusiastic horror fan official. I knew it was going to be dark, but fuck me, I was not prepared for that. I wasn't either. I went into this expecting, like, Talk to Me's got a couple of fucked up moments. I was expecting Talk to Me with a slightly darker tone. Like when he started chewing the knife and chewing the counter, I was like, blah. And like when she's tipping piss on him, I'm like, this is kind of not what I signed up for. I'm here and I'll go through it, but not what I expected. The Colin Firth Museum went with absolutely brilliant. Also,
who is the Colin Firth Museum?
It's an account that's Colin. Go and follow the Colin Firth.
I need
Museum.
to.
But fuck, it's one of those accounts that, like, they commented. I'm like, who are you? Let me go and have a look. And then I was like, this account is really cool. I really like Colin Firth. Like, follow, instant follow. The Misshape. I feel this was go down as one of the best horror movies of the decade. Old and Nerdy Bastard, best horror movie of the year, maybe best movie of the year. It was excellent. And Robbie Horror. My favorite film of the year so far, scary, intense, but also genuinely disturbing and powerful. To balance the scales, we've got Melanie St. George, went simply with meh. Viking Wizard Eyes went with, it was all right. And Lady Crisis went, It was dark, but I wasn't a big fan first watch. Maybe I'll give it another go. Please do, Mary. Try it again. Try it again.
Yeah.
We have a game. It's an ongoing game that no one seems to be winning. We play you a clip. It's five clips from movies. So you've got 5 movies. All you need to do is tell us the name of all 5 movies. Like, you can enter if you only know 2. Like, if you enter and go, the first one is this and the third one is that, like, you make it easy for the next person. If they ring up and go, oh, the fourth one is this, then you go, oh shit, oh, it makes sense now. And then you get to play again. Like, people start playing, seriously. I'm going to play the clip, and then I'll tell you what you win. Then I'll play the clip again, and then I'll let Mark have a go. So here is the clip that you need to identify all 5 movies.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit! Move! Give me a break.
So those are the 5 movies. If you enter this and you get all 5 movies right, you will get a 3-month free subscription to our Patreon, where you'll get access to all of the extra shows and You Run Podcast Extra. If you're already a Patreon member, you get a special request from me or Mark, a video of us kind of saying or doing, Mark offered nudity, saying or doing whatever you want.
Still not arguing with that. I'll do it.
Yeah. We're going to play.
It's unachievable, but I'll do
it. It depends. It's going to be like the scene from The Hangover. The monkey's going to lick it thinking it's a mushroom. I'm going to play this one more time, and then I'm actually going to let Mark have a go and see if he can trigger some of you to go, Mark.
Do you have them broken down into individual things, or is it just a one?
It's a one. When people start guessing them, I will play the full clip of each one as they're guessed.
No,
so,
right, okay. Because I was going to say, if you just play each one to me in breakdown, I will give my opinion on what I think each one might be.
No, I'm going to play it to you in whole, and you can guess one of the movies. You're not allowed to go for all 5 in case you do it and ruin it.
No, I don't. That's the thing. I don't know all 5, but I was just going to say, like, I only know 1. But, like, I was going to then sort of pass what I think my mind is going in, because I know that they're not right. And I was going to say, right, I think 1 is this. This is the vibe it's giving me. 2 is giving me this vibe. That's giving me that vibe. But if you just want me to go with which one you think I know, then I know which one I will go for straight away.
Yeah, well, let's play it again.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit! Move! Give me a break.
So, which one do you think you know?
Well, I know number 1.
You know number 1. And what do you think number 1 is?
I think number 1's Halloween Resurrection. It fucking haunts my nightmares. I know exactly what it is.
Okay, so you know the first one. Do you want to take a stab at any of the others?
Play it again.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit! Move! Give me a break.
Yes, I want to take a stab at number 3. Can I tell you what it is, but I don't know what movie it's from, even though I know I've seen the movie. So I know, at least I think I'm pretty confident I know the scene of the movie, but my mind's gone blank on which movie I know it from.
Okay.
It's the scene on the baseball court with the man with the cropped t-shirt, and he tells him to like eat shit and stuff, and they have the full conversation. And the what movie? You can't tell me now, can you? No, but you know that's the scene. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if I can't think for me whether it's one of the Friday movies that I know it from, or if it's one of the Nightmare movies that I know it from. But I know I can visually see the scene in my head, but I don't know what movie I'm associating that scene with.
So for anyone listening, Mark has got 1.5 because he is right, but he just doesn't know the movie.
I could Google right now which scene that is, and I would find it, and I'd be able to tell you the answer. But I know that's the scene, and I just can't think for the life of me. And I'm not cheating. I'm just hoping that if I hear it enough each week, it'll come to me all of a sudden. I'm like, I know it now.
Yep. So Mark has got 1.5. I'm going to play it one more time, and then we're going to rock on into roundup. So remember, if you own, it's like Mark has given you 1.5 now. If you know 2 and you know 4, between you and Mark, you've got all of them bar one.
I think I also know 2 as well, but I'm not passing judgment on that just yet.
Okay, so here's the clip one last time for those of you who are playing, which currently is Mark, but here we go.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit! Move! Give me a break.
Okay, no, I know what the last one is as well.
You do? Okay, you can tell
I do,
me
yeah. The more you're playing it in my ear, the more I'm... Because I was just focused on number 3 because it was annoying me. But then now I'm focusing on number 2 and number 5. I know what number 5 is. So I know number 1, 3, and 5. And I'm pretty confident I know number 2 as well.
Okay, well, you and me will discuss that off the air. I'm going to let you round this up first because I feel that you are going to give this a very different... I think we're going to score it similarly, but I think you're going to give this a very different overview than I am. So I'll let you hit this first.
I haven't got a lot to say that I've already said on the episode, and I don't want that to be a catchphrase throughout the rest of the episodes going forward, because I know I've been saying that a lot recently.
You've said it every single...
2,000 years later.
I know, but because like sometimes when we used to record, there was like certain points that I'd be like, I'm going to save that for my roundup, and I'm just going to drop bombs. But I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to air out my shit in the episode. But like now, when it gets to the roundup, I'm trying to condense it so you don't have sound bites anymore. So I open up with, go back and listen to what I've already said, so I don't have to repeat myself in the final segment, and it'll condense the roundup a little bit more. But yeah, I love these guys. I think they're great directors. I think the casting's phenomenal in this movie, and I think the directors have made a beautiful film. I think they're really, really competent filmmakers. I think this movie fails massively in its writing and its pacing. I think the first 45 minutes is borderline unbearable in terms of the lack of setup and introductions of certain things that take 45 minutes to get a slight, even just the slightest resolution of where the story's going. This should have been a 90-minute movie, not an hour and 46-minute movie. This should have been 15 minutes cut from that first 45 minutes to keep the pacing consistent. I feel like they should have committed wholeheartedly towards the brutality and bleakness of the ending. There's some fantastic needle drops in terms of musical scores and soundtrack throughout that I was really impressed with. The moment that we talked about earlier with the montage scene where she cleans up the house before the social worker comes felt wildly out of place and almost like a Rocky montage where he's training. It was like that for the cleanup of the house, and I didn't like it. Tonally, it didn't fit. It was weird. It took me out completely for a good couple of minutes. I like the lore. I like the story, and the 30 minutes in between the sort of middle act where everything comes together was pitch perfect, and I can't complain a single thing about anything that happens in those moments. I just felt like, given the hype that this movie had, and given the love and admiration and the constant best movie of the year, it's not as good as Talk to Me. And I can't turn around and be like, there's better movies out there, because I'm still yet to see Weapons. And as I've already said, Mortal Kombat 2 is coming out this year. So they've probably still got a fighting chance of being maybe third best. And yeah, it is currently best movie I've seen this year, but I don't watch a lot of new releases. And I just have a lot of issues with it, man. I just don't think it's as great as everybody's saying it is, because I think people are overlooking the issues that I've discussed throughout this episode. And I hope a lot of people listen to this, listen to the problems that I've had, go back and give it a rewatch and be like, actually, do you know what? He is actually right. Which, come on, guys, 9 times out of 10, I usually am. He is actually right. And the things that he is saying make sense. And we were all just taken aback by some of the sheer brutality and shocking moments that this film has, which is great. Do you know what I mean? Like Hereditary, for example, follows many beats that this movie fills, but Hereditary executes it in a much more clean and sleeker fashion than Bring Her Back does. And I feel like when they've made this movie, they've sat there and kind of been like, we want to make our Hereditary. And I feel like they've 80% got there with it. There's just a lot of things about it that didn't quite hit that mark, which is why I'm annoyed by the praise that this movie's getting. I think it massively deserves praise, but I don't feel like it's warranted of how glorified that this movie has been over the past 3 months.
My roundup's going to wind you up.
Yeah, I mean, it does every week. I'm not surprised. I liked it. I thought it was a fantastic movie. There's a lot of hope here, and I wish these directors nothing but luck. I'm very excited to see where they go next. But again, just rein it back a bit, guys. Just fucking chill out. It's good. It's just not great. It's a 4 out of 5.
Okay. Good score, to be fair. Like you've aired your grievances, but it's still a great movie. It's a 4 out of 5.
It's still a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? It was a cool movie. Do you know what I mean? It's just not fucking what everybody's telling me that it is.
Okay. When we reviewed Sinners earlier this year, I didn't expect that to be beaten. That was movie of the year. Didn't think anything was going to get close to it.
Still is.
This film is the best horror movie of the year, hands down. It's not even close. Like, it's not Sinners and this, they're not even in the same fucking league. This is in a whole nother league. It is dark. It is original. It's completely unknown cast that all of them excelled far beyond any expectations I had. Like, when I first saw Andy and Piper, I'm like, let's see how this pans out. As soon as they started speaking, I'm like, fuck, I'm fully in. I buy into you. I buy into your relationship. I buy into Laura as the mum. Like, Oliver's terrifying. Like, everyone, even the social worker who's got a bit part, all of them delivered far beyond what I expected. There are moments in this that made me laugh. There are moments in this that made me sad. For the most part of this movie, I felt tense and uncomfortable and almost that dark, ominous feel throughout the film. And every time that dark, ominous feel is there, it was followed by moments where I went, oh, fuck, no, nah. Like, the amount of times I literally like put my hands up, went, oh, fuck. Like, biting the sideboard, chewing the knife, tearing the skin off the arm, the fucking hit with the car, like the drowning in the pool, like all of that stuff, like the mum slit, the Laura slitting her arms, like all of that was awful. Absolutely awful. This is a brilliant possession horror that's done differently to any other possession horror I've seen before. It's also an insightful look at grief and how people deal with that. And I didn't expect that level of depth. This, for me, is 2 for 2 for the Philippi brothers. This is 2 5-star. They got 5 out of 5 for Talk to Me. It is a 5 out of 5 for this. I honestly can't wait to see what they do next. Film of the year, and there will have to be something really fucking special to top this for me. I literally can't find fault with it. Everything that Marc had faults and issues with are the bits I really like. I loved the long build up. I loved the fact they made you wait for the payoff. So yeah, I loved it. Brilliant movie.
I don't even know who you are anymore. I don't know why I'm here anymore. Fuck this show.
Well, we've scored it kind of the same. Like, we're a point
No,
apart.
we're not kind of the same. I've critically outlined the issues that this movie has had, and you've agreed with me throughout the episode, and you've still give it a flawless score.
Because I don't agree with you. Like,
you agreed with me on the show. You agreed with me that there were problems, and you agreed with everything that I said, and then now you're here telling me it's flawless. No, fuck you, Scott. I'm done. Done with the show. I'm out.
Oh, bless him. Well, that's it for another week. We will be back next week. Well, maybe it'll just be me. We'll find out. We start a whole new month. The new month is called Kate Rules. This is the month where our Patreon member, Kate, used her Patreon power and took over all of the polls for the month. And we're going to kick things off with an absolute banger. We're going to be covering Paris Hilton's lesser-known movie, House of Wax, which...
That took a while. It took a while, but I got there.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I think if you put views side by side, like the same with YouTube videos, I think House of Wax has a lot less views than her other film.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for next week. I'm really excited for next month because honestly, Kate has managed to pick banger after banger after banger. And I think maybe we needed someone to take control after we went, let's not do horror followed by...
No. Right. this whole we thing that you keep doing.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not on board for it. Okay.
Okay, so after I went, let's not do horror for a month, and then you went, that was shit. Let's do really horrible horror. I think it needed someone to step in and go, look, you two don't know what the fuck you are doing. So I am going to take control. And Kate's done that. So you've got a whole month of movies that are picked by someone that is sensible. But until then, make sure you go and watch some of our stuff on YouTube. 5 episodes a week, loads on there. Sign up to Patreon, even if it's a free member. Get early releases. Get You Run Extra if you've got the spare cash. And do not store deceased loved ones in a freezer. That's where I am. Till next time, see you later.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
You want to die tonight?
Jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. You run podcasts, horror movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. Thank you for taking us on this chilling ride, when nightmares roll free and comedy collide. With your podcast we laugh and cringe, but your content is so good we can't help but binge. You run podcasts. You run podcasts.
Trick or treat. What have you done?
Eat shit! Move! Give me a break.